Hello my friends, today I'm going to be doing another Slept On spell, and today's Slept On spell is Phantasmal Force. Now, Phantasmal Force is one of those second level spells that we're targeting one creature, and the idea is that we really want to nerf that creature hard. Very similar to Hold Person or Maximilian's Earthing Grasp, for example. So how does this compare to those two? Well, first off, it is definitely the stickiest of the three of those spells. It targets intelligence saves, which most creatures are going to fail way more often than the wisdom and even the strength saves, and then they have to use an intelligence check to break out. So similar to Maximilian's Earthing Grasp, where they have to do a strength check, now they have to do an intelligence check, which is again going to be even better than the strength check. So Hold Person is the least sticky, and Phantasmal Force is the most sticky, but stickiness is only good if we're getting a good effect out of Phantasmal Force. Hold Person, while it may be the least sticky, is the most powerful feature, and Maximilian's Earthing Grasp is the middle one. Then we have Phantasmal Force, and this one is the hardest to evaluate by far. And the reason for that is, while the text is clear, how we interpret a creature interacting with that text is probably going to be DM dependent. Now, I think the easiest way to begin explaining this is to talk about, let's put them in a metal box. So we create an illusion that is within a 10-foot cube, and they will believe it to the point that they will rationalize it. So if we created a bridge and they stepped on that bridge, they would fall, they'd take damage, but instead of saying, hey, that bridge is an illusion, they would say, the wind pushed me off that bridge. Let me climb back up and try again. They're so convinced of it being the reality until they make that intelligence check that they will rationalize it in whatever way possible. So this creates some really interesting scenarios. So going back to the metal box example, they're now in this metal box. They believe they're in a metal box. Maybe we put poison gas in it because they believe it to the point it does damage. So now they're in this metal box that's going to damage them. They can't see us because they're surrounded by a metal box. So if we attack them, it would be an unseen attacker. We'd have advantage. They may not believe they can move, so they may just stand there because they don't believe they can walk through a metal box, so they may be holding still. So we have effectively given them the restrained condition and the blinded condition, but though they don't technically have either of those conditions, as well as do damage on top of that. That would be insane. That would be so much better than Hold Person. Giving them the restrained, damaging them, blinded, and they have to do an intelligence check to get out of it. That's pretty absurd. Depending on our interpretation of Phantasmal Force, it can get ridiculous. But if we think about the same scenario again through kind of a more rational perspective, it would say, if you were stuck in a metal box being filled with poison, would you just stand there? No, you'd probably bang on the walls. Do something. If you have a spell, you try and blow through the wall, you might bash your shoulder against it. And when they do that, it's just an illusion. They're going to end up on the other side, and then they're going to rationalize how that happened. Maybe there was a trap door that spun around. Maybe they actually broke through it. Maybe it was lighter than they thought. You know, whatever the rationalization is, now they're on the other side. The thing about Phantasmal Force is it doesn't move from that original 10-foot cube you placed it. So it really depends on how convincing you can create the illusion based on that character's perspective. And that's really where I draw the line with this spell, is if my player is being really creative, they're thinking about the terrain, they're thinking about the character, maybe it's a super dumb character, so we just want to put a distraction in front of them that moves a lot and is really bright. You know, like I think of an ogre. If you put an orc in front of an ogre that's like has a little fire spear or something, I can see the ogre trying to smash that orc for forever. Or a really intelligent creature, you might try and create something more complex, something to actually engage their brain so they sit there and analyze it. You know, if you're thinking about this spell in those terms, then I would reward that. If you're trying to do a cheap, oh, I put them in a metal box and fill it with poison gas and hope that that's going to do everything you're hoping for, restrain them, blind them, I'm not going to allow that as a DM. Long story told short, as a DM, I would say the more creative you are, the more I'll reward it. That's just my take on Phantasmal Force. I would love to hear your guys's. Let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, hope you have yourselves a lovely day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.